Hello, my name is Jasmine Lee, and I am not your mama's astrologer. Welcome to the week. Hello. This is vibes this week, you guys. This is an initiating week. This is a transmutation week. This is a week that could change your life. Welcome. I hope you're ready. And here's the disclaimer I will always say about astrology is that the energy is here. It's here for you. Whether or not you take it, whether or not you use it, whether or not you victimize yourself with it or build yourself up with it is a personal choice. We all in our lives get met with decisions, with opportunities, with yeses or nos, and we get to meet that with freedom, with our own will. I read a book called Big Magic. I don't know if you've read it. Same author as Eat, Pray, Love. She's lovely. And she told this whole story about a book idea that she had that sat with her for a long time. Elizabeth Gilbert is her name. And she just couldn't put pen to paper. And eventually that idea left. And the exact same idea premise Ann Patchett wrote in State of Wonder. And now her and Ann Patchett are great friends. She wrote other books. And so other opportunities came her way. I love that story, you guys. I love it because it's the notion that, or the invitation that there's ideas and activations circling us all the time. Good, bad, ugly, precious, queer, we don't know. It's all around us and we are constantly being met with these choices, these energy mirrors. And we're getting to choose what we're taking, what we're activating, what we're using. And if we pass it along, well, it could be in someone else's orbit. It could be for someone else to pull down and cherry pick and make. How many times have you heard your dad say to you, "Oh, I had an idea for a portable music system that could come with you," and then the iPod is created and your dad's like, "That was my idea first." Maybe it was. Maybe your dad's just not annoying, and it was. We all come up with ideas all the time, but the notion that they're there and available for all of us to access, and it is what we are choosing to access that activates us and our lives and our fate and our goals and our resonance and our futures, is just here and ripe and ready for us. So when I talk about a fated week, as in my opinion this week is, it's not like if nothing happens to you this week, the energy hath forsaken you, or if something huge happens to you this week, but it's not as great as you thought it would be, it's harder. Or if you ride the wave and something great happens, and then 3 years from now, you look back on this time and say, wow, that was a game changer. That's what these kinds of moments are like. That's what a lot of these moments in our lives are like, that there are micro movements that we make that we probably don't even remember being the thing that led to the rest of our lives. And I love the notion of this, that our life is a cacophony of 1,000 different choices, small and big, that led us just to where we are in this moment. So I like to think of a week that is like this, that is like a marble getting put onto the marble maze, and it starts its long or short, I don't know your life, I don't know what you up to, journey towards something new, towards a different way of being, towards a transformative part of yourself that you'll look back on and say, gosh, wow, that was big. That was big for me. So it starts Monday with Venus, our lover, our artist, our feminine, our beauty sector, to be squaring the nodes of fate. So there is this notion of, how am I relating to my fate right now? How am I relating to the people that are launching me or holding me back? How am I relating to my relationship with myself? How am I relating? And that is your homework this week, to really think about what you're giving out, being mirroring or being mirrored by what you're getting back. Because our energy attracts energy. We can all agree with that, I think, that your vibe attracts your tribe notions. And that is big this week. And I want you to really consider for a moment that if your vibe attracts your tribe and right now you are lonely, or you have been confronted, or you are feeling confronted or wanting to confront, or there is something stewing in how your relationships have been going, that I want you to think about how you can use that to have a deeper relationship with yourself, because it is really only in our own energetic cosmos that we can make the biggest, most swiftest difference in what we're doing. So we have clues always, all the time, by the people that are coming into our lives, by how we're relating to people, by how people are relating to us. And those are cookies. They're mini cookies. They're mini clues. That's mini energy that's building up the entirety of you in your external world, because it is an external week. It is the idea that what we are putting out there is being mirrored back to us. So pay attention. Are people getting fussy with you? Are people getting irritated with you? Are you irritated with people? These are indicators. These are flags saying, stop and think about it. Stop and process why these relationships are doing what they're doing, why this new friendship came into your life, why this new job, this new environment is engaging with you in the way that it is, because there's a lot of information to be gleaned this week on our outside world, either mirroring or deflecting our inner world. So then we have a big thing in the sky happening in terms of it's a very Venusian week. So just as Venus is going to be squaring the nodes of fate, then on Wednesday, Venus and Mars are going to square. And this is a really big moment because Mars is in Virgo and Venus is in Gemini, and both of these planets are ruled by Mercury in modern astrology. And Mercury is currently retrograde. So I could just take a big, juicy fucking bite out of this philosophically. Masculine versus feminine. Yin and yang meeting up in the sky in similar vibes in that very mercurial way while Mercury is retrograde. So it is a moment of deep reflection about this balance. Not just, so like on a big scale, it could be oppression, women's rights, LGBTQ2 rights, feeling like there is a war of the sexes. And then personally, it could be in relationships, a little moment of tension between your male or female counterparts. It also internally could be the battle between the yin and yang inside of you, the doer versus the rester, the moon versus the sun. And so with Venus starting out the week, telling us there's fate in the air, and Mars and Venus meeting up to show us what is feeling tense in the dynamic between the masculine and the feminine. There's a lot of work to do, but it's reflective work. I would almost say that this week is going to trick you into thinking you need to do a lot, but the truth of it is you need to reflect a lot. The truth of it is you need to plant a lot of new notions inside yourself about yourself, because also this week, the sun is moving into Leo season. We're getting out of the Cancerian water, home, emotions, deeper sense of that divine feminine, and we're moving right into the skyrocketed sun of the fire, of the masculine, of the male energy. And, that's very Mars-Venus vibes. So Leo is all about our ego. Our egoic self. It rules the house of children because that is the very bottom, innocent way that we start building our ego. It's first kisses, it's first loves, it's theater, it's drama. It is the sun. So it is how we are being seen. It is how we are processing. And at the same time this week, the sun is going to be trining Saturn and Neptune. So there's some way in which this shift into Leo is going to make a positive aspect with the lessons that we're learning and the dreams we are dreaming. And Leo is going to help us have a voice. Leo is going to help us find our monologue. Leo is going to help us take the stage in a way that, like I said, is going to make you feel like you want to do a lot. But really, the medicine here, the yin, the yang, the Mars squaring Venus of it all is asking you to balance it first, to come to terms with it internally first, to find the words, not just for others, but for yourself, for your soul. And then Thursday, we have a beautiful, big, fatty new moon in Leo. And so there is this notion, this idea that we're coming out. We're coming out of the dark. We are showing ourselves. We are being revealed as we are revealing ourselves, but not just to other people, but to ourselves. And this beautiful new moon is going to be opposing Pluto, which is a hard aspect. So we're coming out of our shell. Imagine that. Leo is front and center. Leo is activated. Leo is wanting us to be seen and to see ourselves at the same time as then it is going to be opposing our transformation, our transmutation, the reset, that we're becoming initiated through our transmutation, that we cannot get onto the stage before we have memorized our lines, before we even know, you guys, what those lines are. So the beginning of this week is a beautiful time to have deep reflection, deep notions and ideas about your relationships, who's coming into your life and why, who's leaving your life and why, and the things that we lose in the interim. And just imagining this being a launching week for the next 5 years of your life, that you will look back on this time and what do you want to think about it? What do you want to set into motion this week, this Thursday, this new moon? But it's a planting time. It's not a growing time. It is a time to be righteous in our notions, but to fall back a little in our actions. The observation of self and the observation of ourselves mirrored against others is great, great information this week. That finding out whatever is lacking inside of us, whether it be the yin or the yang, the masculine or the feminine, and whatever we are yearning for on the outside of us, and how to bring it into a new story is really what's wanting to be sung this week. And I love that we have great help, that as the sun is making this transition into Leo season, we have the help of Saturn and Neptune saying, go for it. What are you going to do with this one wild, precious life? And that it is far too late to sit in the back row, that the world is changing fast. And you can't always be the passenger, that to initiate or transmute the pain that has happened to us or the holdups or the loss that we have felt is to rev our engines and get ready to go somewhere new, maybe scary, maybe confronting. Maybe it is a whole new paradigm that you never even thought to think about. And you have helpers and you have people here guiding you, reaching out to you. Listen to that. Listen to that phone call or that text or that person that you see that maybe you had always been curious about, and initiate. Have some contact. Think about what it is that makes a life a life. It's not one decision. It's not the worst thing that happened to you, nor is it the best thing that ever happened to you. It is a cacophony. It is a mural. It is a beautiful scrapbook of all of the yeses and all of the nos and all of the maybes that we have wrapped up into ourselves, that has created something that is either healed or unhealed, that I would argue is never one or the other. We are always in process. And this week, there is something out there that is tapping us, that is changing us, that is asking us to step into the main stage, the main production of what it is we're here to do, of what it is we're wanting so much. We all have a cookie. I have a cookie. You have a cookie. We're all in the baking part of our life. There's very few of us that get to take the entirely finished cookie out and eat it. I would argue that the process is really the thing that grows us. It is not the cookie itself, but rather the intentionality around our cookies that make them taste the sweetest. So this is one of those weeks. It's a game-changing week if you want it to be. It's a, energy balancing ask. It's the ability to live in maybe a few tense moments, relationally speaking, between partners, between friends, between politics, between the freaking World Wide Web that is, in a very scary way, blowing up lives. I know you guys watched all of the media sensation around that Coldplay concert where that big ass CEO guy at the astronomer company got caught cheating with his co-worker who was also cheating. I love this for us for this week, to bring it into this week for a myriad of reasons, because they took the main stage, didn't they? They didn't ask for that main stage. Nope. If that kiss cam had gone to them, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, a CEO got caught on a Coldplay concert's kiss cam, and rather than playing it cool, because kiss cams are everywhere, no one would have said shit, he ducked and she kind of ran. They both kind of freaked out and made it pretty obvious that something nefarious was going on. And so, of course, the World Wide Web took it and exposed it, and now it is a really big scandal, a really big, weird thing that I am obsessed with, you guys. I am so here for all of the sides of the story. It's made me really thoughtful, because here is a game-changing moment for not just one person, not just two people, but two families that are now like in a major state of upheaval, turmoil. He lost his job. I'm sure they're both headed for divorce, or at least a very long road of, righteous accountability. And it is one of those things that if you don't ask for the spotlight, if you don't take it for yourself, if you don't step into the truth of your life authentically, well, the world has a way of putting just the right kiss cam at just the right moment to show you to yourself. My deepest hope is that all of these people look back 5 years from now and say, this was a life-changing moment. This was a game-changing moment. And hopefully all of them, having done the work, having had maybe more perspective, maybe that's a lot to ask, I don't know. Maybe some of them have, though, will look back and say, thank God that happened, because I don't have to waste more of my life with someone who isn't authentically here with me in this life, and they're moved on and they found a new love. Who knows? The sky is the limit. The worst thing that's ever happened to you can also be the most igniting thing that ever happens to you. And that's why I bring them up for this week, because this is a week for us to have our own proverbial kiss cams. And some of us don't like what it reveals. And so we stay hidden. And so we don't say the thing. We don't do the damn thing. And then we get pushed into it. And I don't know about you, but I would rather walk to my execution than get pushed into it. I always want the choice that no matter how hard things are for me, no matter how sometimes I can feel backed into a corner in my life, and that there aren't always readily available life choices that feel like would make it better for me, I always know that I have the choice how I'm processing however stuck I am. I always know that I get to choose. For better or for worse, you guys, I'm a toiler. I'm an anxiety-ridden little chinchilla that creates little micro tears in my stomach. And, my poops are weird. Maybe your poops are weird. Maybe anxiety makes all of our poops weird. I don't know. What I do know is that if I don't start stepping, if I don't start moving, if I don't start taking my licks and understanding what it was they were teaching me in the first place, then I'm never gonna get to where I want to be. I'll only ever be halfway there. And I want to live an authentic life. I always say, I don't want to be a basic bitch. And if you don't want to be a basic bitch, then you have to get honest about where the holdup is. What are you not being truthful about, both to yourself and to others? Where are you ready to step in and say, I'm here? Where are you desperately wanting to be seen? This is this week. This is the seed. This is the notion. This is the thing that you're putting into your body and then watering it and irrigating it and transmuting whatever was the limiting belief, whatever was the thing that was putting you in the bad mood or making you inactive, throwing you into a vibrational sense of action. And I always say, and it is always said to me, that in this universe, you don't need to know the how. You don't need to know how you're going to make it. You don't need to know how you're going to end that relationship. You don't need to know how you're going to tell someone a hard truth. You don't need to know how you're going to get to that job, that person, that life, that path that you want. You just need to know what you want. And I've said it time and time again. It is like the genie with the 3 wishes. You can't just say a thing and make it so. You can't just say, I want love, because love isn't enough. Love intrinsically is lovely, but it can also be wrought with abuse and pain and the wrong person. What is love to you? What does the love you want look like? Who does that personify to you? Likewise with a job. You can't just say, I want a job, because bitch, Taco Bell is just around the corner. Anytime you need it, there is a job for you. But it is, where will you thrive? What lights you up? Sometimes we get to our adult years and we don't think we deserve that dream anymore. And that is just not true. Whether it is making me successful or not, I am here with you in space, looking at the stars and saying, I want this for myself. What do you want for yourself? And whether I get it to the heights that I demand it, that's up to me. That's up to me in my consistency and showing up to you every Monday and through social media and saying, in Leo fashion, I am here and I want to be seen. You are here too. And what do you want to be seen for? That's the question. And the card I pulled is Thinker, because remember, the Thinker card says it is not about the action right now. It is about the thought. It is about the plan. It is about the activation. It is about the notion right now. It's not a time to do. It's a time to understand what it is you're truly longing for. May you find it this week. May this week at least shows you some clarity and at least gives you an idea of the imbalances that are in your life so that you can be working on those. Because sometimes when we don't have a clear what, it's very important to work in the present, in the now. If you don't know what you want to do for work, well, just start working. If you don't know what you want to do for a relationship, start making yourself available. Be open. Go for walks. Go to the coffee shop. If you don't know what you want to write, just start writing. Because the ideas are endless, but they won't find you if you aren't trying for it. Thank you for listening. Happy new moon, happy intention setting, happy masculine, feminine balancing. Please like, subscribe, share, make my dreams come true too. We can do it together, you guys. We're all in this together. And if I bump you up, if I hype you up and you hype me up, and we hype our neighbors up and our brothers and our sisters and our lovers, then we all get fucking hyped, you guys, and only good things can come when we hype each other out. So thank you so much, and I will see you next week.